Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And in today's video, we'll discuss that come from behind victory for Texas Tech baseball. But hey, let me know. I know I've been lacking a little bit when it comes to Texas Tech baseball on the channel. Simply like the video if you want to have daily Texas Tech baseball videos during the tournament, as it looks like the Red Raiders have solidified themselves into the NCAA tournament. And it looks like they may be making some noise to where they could be as high as a 2 seed. But all I'm asking you to do is like the video and let me know if you want more Texas Tech baseball content. All right, let's get started as the Red Raiders won an absolute stunner last night at the time of this recording as they beat the Oklahoma Sooners 10-9 in the Big 12 tournament, moving to 2-0 and securing an off day on Friday, which is pivotal in this type of tournament as it resets your bullpen. But really the story of this one was the bats, and they came alive against the Sooners. And two guys really stand out to me, even though you had Bazell as the walk-off guy in the ninth inning with the bases loaded, right? But Nolan Hester and Dylan Maxey. Let's start with Nolan Hester in this one. 6 plate appearances, and he got on base 6 times. 1 via the hit by pitch, 2 walks, and then 3 hits for the senior transfer from Wofford. He's been sensational as a table setter all year for the Red Raiders, but this was his golden gem game so far for the Red Raiders in 2023. He was a table setter, got on base each time, as I mentioned, and really allowed the top of the lineup to get going a little bit. And the funny thing is, the top of the lineup and really everybody in the lineup was doing great things. The one guy that wasn't was the guy that actually had the walk-off. So it was really fitting that he got the hit, did Bazell, with the bases loaded in the ninth. But you look at it, and some of the guys that stand out, right? I mentioned Dylan Maxey, and I want to talk about him more in depth here in just a second. But again, Gage Harrelson, another top of the lineup guy, batting second last night against Oklahoma. He goes 3 for 6 with an RBI. And then a guy you just can't take out of the lineup right now is Zach Vuletich. Okay, I had the pleasure of watching him for a year and calling his games out at New Mexico Junior College out in Hobbs, and he was a stud. He was playing catcher, he was playing shortstop, he was doing everything, and he has a lot of versatility. Last night in this game against Oklahoma, he played right field, right? But the most important aspect right now of Zach Vuletich in his game is this man is absolutely raking. And the funny thing is he's probably not even the hottest hitter on the team right now. That's Hudson White, who is arguably the hottest hitter in the country, batting over 500 right now. But Zach Vuletich had a night last night in 5 official plate appearances. He had 3 hits, scored 1 run, and had an RBI. The Texas Tech lineup has carried this team throughout the whole season, right? Pitching has been kind of a wishy-washy type ordeal for the Red Raiders, right? But when you look at everything and what they've done, listen, this is what's going to get you there. And it's one of those deals where I think everybody knew that watches Texas Tech baseball and covers Texas Tech baseball, that, hey, this lineup's going to have to carry a little bit, right? Outside of Mesa Molina in terms of the starting rotation, it's a crapshoot, right? But when you look at what this lineup is doing right now and the most important aspect of the year for the Red Raiders, I don't think you could have asked for a better situation. Think about this. 1 through 9, they have not been hotter this season, right? You've got a guy in Tracer Lopez who, by the way, should only be in high school. It's a joke on Twitter. If you know, you know, right? But he's batting 9th, and he's hitting 275 for you as a true freshman and playing arguably the most important defensive position on the field. Okay, and he is absolutely raking as well. You look at what the Red Raiders are doing 1 through 9, and I've seen some projections in terms of where they could end up in the NCAA tournament. And the main one that I see is them in Baton Rouge, right? I can tell you this right now. LSU and anyone else in that regional wants absolutely no part of a Tim Tadlock team, especially one right now that 1 through 9 could be the hottest lineup in the country right now with how they're going, right? You got a guy in Gavin Cash who was one of the best players in the Big 12, let alone the country, right? You got a table setter up there in Nolan Hester and Gage Harrelson, both doing a great job. You got Bazell in the 3 spot. You got Austin Green, the switch hitting second baseman, right? The list goes on, and you're getting production night in and night out, 1 through 9, it feels like, in a timely manner. And we know Tim Tadlock, when it's all said and done, will press the right buttons in postseason play because he's done it time and time again. And you do not want to see the Red Raiders, or if you're an opposing team right now in your regional, because they are going on to the semifinals of the Big 12 tournament. Again, if you want more Texas Tech baseball videos throughout the NCAA tournament until they are down to their final out and officially out of it, let me know just by simply liking the video. I know men's basketball has been the big thing on the channel so far, but hey, we're trying to get into football a little bit more. We're trying to get into baseball a little bit more. But there's only so much time in the day. So we want to hear from you guys in terms of what y'all want to hear and what y'all want to see on the channel. By the way, how are we feeling about these graphics? Let me know as well. Let me know. But the guy I want to give a lot of credit to in this one, obviously Sanders deserves a lot of credit. He got the win, as you can see by the bottom line below me in this one. But I want to talk about the kind of roller coaster game that a true freshman behind the dish had in Dylan Maxey. Okay. The first inning was, I mean, no uncertain terms, awful for him. Okay. He had 4 passed balls behind the dish. Texas Tech got out of it where they only gave up 1 run in the first inning, but Dylan Maxey struggled, right? And I had people on Twitter telling me, hey, you got to pull him. Didn't care if Hudson White was the DH and you'd lose your DH spot for the rest of the night. Hey, you had to pull him, right? But again, it goes back to the testament of Tim Tadlock and getting the most out of his players, even when things probably don't go their way initially, right? Dylan Maxey struggled. I think he'd be the first one to admit that to you, right? He comes out and at the dish goes 5 for 3 with a home run to get Texas Tech within 2 in striking distance in the 9th inning, right? And I think it's a testament of what that shows in terms of resolve for a kid that's 18, 19 years old, a true freshman, starting in a big league ballpark, right? In the Big 12 tournament, in a game that if you win, you're in a really good spot if you're Texas Tech to potentially be playing on Sunday night at Globe Life Park, or Globe Life Field, excuse me, right? Like you look at what he did, and I think you have to give a lot of credit to that guy. He came in, settled the pitchers down as well, did a phenomenal job behind the dish outside of that first inning. And I think a lot of people are going to talk about the lineup. Shoot, that's what I started out with, right? People are going to talk about the pitching staff and how Sanders came in and really was the key to the game, pivotably on the mound for the Red Raiders at the end there. But for me, a guy that you're going to have to look at that I don't think is going to get enough attention in this one is Dylan Maxey, the true freshman catcher who had one of the worst first innings I've seen from a catcher behind home plate with 4 pass balls. And then he settles down. And what does he do? He comes up clutch at the dish, makes up for a mistake or two, and even more so, and settles those pitchers down and puts Texas Tech in a really good opportunity to potentially win just their second ever Big 12 tournament championship. They're in the semifinals. They're 2-0. You get to reset your bullpen. Pivotal for the Red Raiders, to say the least. And now you go into Saturday and you will face the winner of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, who are set to play at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Friday, May 26th. But hey, big time win, as you can see from the bottom line below. Texas Tech beats Oklahoma 10-9 on a walk-off by Bazell in the 9th inning, and the Red Raiders are moving on to the Big 12 semifinals. I am RC Maxfield telling you one more time, if you want the latest Texas Tech news, whether that's football, men's basketball, baseball during postseason play, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the know all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.